witches, welcome back to the channel. It's the Wyld Wytch here. Oh, it's chilly outside, but anyway, I'm about to walk over to the hammock. I want to sleep outside tonight, so I'm gonna go sleep in the hammock. So I'm gonna tell you a story when I get over there, so give me just a minute. Y'all excuse me, I look like a hot mess, but it's all good. So I'm laying out in the hammock. You can see the little net and the green. You probably can't see me, but anyway, I wanted to sleep outside tonight in the hammock, so I thought while I was out here I would tell you guys a story. So the story takes place when I was a teenager, and I need to give you a backstory first. So this started off before my husband and I started dating. Him and his best friend and the two girls that they were dating were going out drinking. Now, where I grew up, there was nothing to do. We didn't have a mall. Absolutely nothing. A movie theater, nothing at all. So a lot of times as teens, we would just drive around. We would go to parties, go out in the woods, drink, smoke, that kind of stuff. So there was this place that was between our state and the next state over. It was like on the state line, but in this one particular area, there were not hardly any houses there, and there was no police jurisdiction there. So we used to go country riding out there and drink, and we would stop, on the side of the road and like on bridges, and we would go in the woods and like have parties and stuff. But there was this one place that we used to go to. It was this old church. Now, like I said, my husband, him and his friend and the two girls that they were dating, they had went out there to this old church, and a lot of people, we just used to park out there, and honestly we would party in the church parking lot. But this church, it looked like this old kind of castle. But anyway, so they were out there drinking one night, and my husband's friend, he was always clowning, joking and stuff, and he was trying to show out for the girls, and they noticed this huge black dog that, like, he wasn't there one minute, and the next minute they looked, he was there, just sitting there staring at them. And the girls started to get creeped out because this dog was just staring, like he wouldn't move or anything. He was just staring at them. So my husband's friend thought it would be funny to go stand in front of the dog, and he was going to kick the dog. And my husband tried to get him, not to, but he was trying to show out. So he tried to kick the dog, and when he did, my husband said that he cut a flip in the air and landed on his back. And he said it looked like he kicked through the dog. He said there was no way that he should have missed this dog. He was right in front of the dog. So my husband, he got a message on his pager, because this was back when pagers, were a big thing, and there really wasn't cell reception or anything out there, so he had to go to a spot. There was only one little spot on this hill that you could get cell service. So he jumped in the truck, and they were all going to ride up there, together to this little spot. Well, when they got there, the dog was already there, sitting there. And every time he tried to pull over into the spot, the dog would lunge at them and like try to attack the truck. So my husband told me this story back when we were dating. And like I said, we used to go country riding, out by this area all the time. And so I had been to that church numerous times. Me and my girlfriends used to go out there and smoke, and we would walk through the cemetery. And I used to take people out there because when you would walk through the cemetery, you always felt like somebody was walking behind you. Sometimes you could feel them touch you, breathing like on the back of your neck. Well, when you got to the end of this little sidewalk, there was this bench, and like if you sat down on the bench, you were just looking into the woods. Well, anytime you went and sat down on the bench, you could hear, it sounded like goats, but there were no goats around. And also, we would go out there, and like I said, this church, nobody went to this church anymore, but this bell on the church would start ringing, and it would ring so loud, it seemed like it would always get louder, and it wouldn't stop until we left. And we started timing it to see, if it was like on a timer or something, but it would always ring at different times. So anyway, he was telling me, this was where they seen the dog out. So we were riding one night, and y'all, he had a Eddie Bauer Explorer. Okay, so we're riding by, and I'm like looking everywhere to see if I see this dog. And y'all, right beside the road was this dog. This dog was so big that whenever we drove by, and we were barely moving, we were going really slow. But anyway, as we drove by, this dog was like stared me in my eyes. This dog was jet black. I had these, like, his ears was black, but you could see like these white hairs on the top of his ears, and it had red eyes. Now I feel like she was a girl, but I don't know. Anytime, like, I took people out there, like my friends and stuff, to see if this dog would show up, but the dog would always go crazy, and she'd be barking and like lunging at the vehicle and stuff. But if it was just me and my now husband that went, she wouldn't do that. Oh, and my little brother too, but she wouldn't do that. She would just sit at the road and stare at us. Or if we pulled over, in the church parking lot, she would just sit there. And she never ventured off further than the side of the road, which was right in front of that church, and cemetery. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this was like a guardian of the cemetery, a hellhound, a ghost dog? Like, what do you think? Like, I've never seen a dog this size in my life. Like, honestly, the dog, when we would be in the vehicle, the dog would be looking in the window. Like, we would be eye level looking at each other. And she had like I said, these like blazing red eyes. And it was like she would just appear and disappear. So, tell me what you think. Comment down below and let me know what you think this dog was. Until next time, fly high, bitches. Peace, homie.